Hello, and welcome back to Mystery of Raid. The following are two stories called The Phoenix and the Dragon and Betrayal. They are the continuations of Fai and Dromai's hero stories. As always, these stories are the property of Legend Story Studios, and I am here just to narrate them. These particular stories were written by Edwin McRae and Rachel Reese, directed by Robbie Wen, and with illustrations from Sam Yang and Nikolai Moskvin. You can always find the written stories at the Flesh and Blood TCG website, or through the link in the description. But now, please, enjoy The Phoenix and the Dragon and Betrayal. A trap laid for a spy master and his ash artist accomplice. Ian as the bait that Satari would be compelled to take. Hundreds of ninjas waiting in ambush, swords drawn for the soldiers, nets and spears readied for Dromai's dragons. Ian's plan was cunning. Fai had to give her that. Since the massacre at the Golden Orchard, Ian had been obsessed with ridding Volkor of that scheming snake. With Satari and his fireside extinguished, it would be easier to infiltrate the Imperial Palace, to tear the Drakai down from within. The Lord Wizards were growing desperate. Inspired by the fallen rebels of the Golden Orchard, Volkai were taking up arms all across Volkor. The many feathers of the phoenix were burning bright. Naturally, the snake would seek to bite off the phoenix head, and so Ian would stick out her own neck, would make herself an irresistible delicacy to the serpent's fangs. In Fai's mind, it should have worked. He slides beneath the dragon's exposed underbelly, his sword cuts deep, and his momentum drags the blade down the full length of the creature's abdomen. He expects a cascade of guts. Instead, the dragon's wide flanks shiver, rippling like water, and then the beast is gone. No carcass, no blood. Nothing to mark that it ever existed. Nothing but the mutilated corpse of his comrades. Fai looks to Ian, who now kneels before Dromai. The rebel leader's left arm is missing. Her shoulder is mangled stump, yet still she grins up at his sister, her eyes wild. Behind Dromai, Satari leans on his staff, the spy master's right hand pressed to a wound on his flank. Blood bubbles between his fingers and soaks his robes. He coughs a wet rasp as blood trickles from the corner of his mouth. "Kill her," he wheezes. Fai levels his sword at Dromai. "Please, sister, don't." "Min didn't spare my mother's life," snaps Dromai. "She didn't think twice about murdering my father. What makes this life any more worthy than theirs?" "Murdered your father?" Shock chokes the words in his throat. "Min, she could never." Ion's laughter cuts him off, a hacking cackle that sends a spasm through her crippled body. "You believe that?" she manages, tears running down her face. The truth is much more fun. Satari steps towards Ian, flames guttering in his palm. Fai notices the weakness in his fire, the exhaustion in his face. He raises his sword, ready to throw it if he has to. Satari freezes, the flames die away. "Min didn't kill your parents," sneers Ian. "I did. And who told me where to find them?" She raises her trembling hand and points at Satari. Satari stares back, his eyes full of hatred. "Orvai walked among the Volkai," says Ian. "He faltered and fumbled, laughed and lost. He ate, slept and shat in a bucket, just like the rest of us. He was an embarrassment," hissed Satari. "And would have drowned our cause in words," continued Ian. "Endless talk that changes nothing." "What about Sani?" Dromai's voice is taut, a humming wire about to break. Ian shrugs, then winces from the pain of it. "She must have loved Torvai more than she loved you." Dromai smiles, an expression so bleak, so distant, that it almost breaks Fai's heart. When she whispers something, a single word, and the ground answers her. Jaws burst through the rock with such force that a tremor knocks Fai off his feet. Those jaws close around Ian. She is gone in an instant, consumed. The great purple dragon hauls itself out of the crater, shakes off rubble and ash, and turns to Fai. "Not him," commands Dromai. She points at Satari. The Drakai shrieks with fear, tries to run. Flames billow around him as teeth close shut on his limping form. The dragon tosses him into the air, and with a snap of its great jaws, it swallows the wriggling man down. Fai struggles to his feet, his heart pounding, sword held in a wide-knuckled grip. Knowing not what else he can do, he takes a step towards Dromai. Go home, Fai. Tell Min that I am sorry. She climbs up into her dragon, and with a beat of the creature's mighty wings, takes to the air. Fai watches her slip away through the haze of swirling dust. He looks to the blood-stained dirt where Ian kneeled but moments before, and then to the scorched earth where the spy master was taken. No more lies, no more secrets. The Emperor is blind. His dragons are turning against him. Fai thrusts his sword into the ash and earth, planting his fury in the firmament of his beloved Volkor. No longer will the Volkai be ground into the dirt. It is time for the phoenix to rise. Dromai sits in the oasis, her feet dangling in the cave's shimmering lake. She watches luminous carp flit through the water, hunting flarefish that fall from the lava river. The water comes from Mysteria. The lava comes from Mount Volkor. Here water and lava meet, a union of opposing forces, just like her. She delivered General Raikou to Ashvahan. The royal court gave her the mantle of Drakai in return. For a time there, she even allowed herself to celebrate, to luxuriate in the trappings of palace life. Then came the messenger in the night, from Zatari. I have found Ion. Time is of the essence. In fact, time was their enemy. Eagerness for the future, that is what drove them into Fai's trap. Shame at the past, that is what unleashed her fury. Dromai spent years convincing herself of Min's guilt, against her fond memories, against her better instincts. She recited her foster mother's crime each and every night. Yet, when blame was recast in truth, reforged in the blood and fire of the battlefield, she needed no persuasion, only execution. Dromai has sought solace in the oasis before. The ways are hidden, but she is more perceptive than most. She found her way through the mist and winding tunnels. It is a place of refuge, a place of clarity, where she can see through life as easily as she can see through the pristine waters. It gave her no pleasure to kill Ian. That surprises her. Justice has been served and has left her with nothing. That is no honor for the dead. Zatari is a different matter. For 10 years he was her mentor, her confidant and friend. He saved her from murderous rebels. Lies. He offered her a chance to redeem her bloodline. Lies. He gave her a home, a place where she could finally belong. All lies. Part of her wants to hate herself for being so naive, so stupid. But there is no shame in being deceived. Min told her that. The shame lies with the deceiver. Another part of her wants to find Fai, to aid him in his grand cause. But then she would be deceiving herself. She has no desire to be ruled by the people. The Volkai are not a power she respects. Like lava transformed to stone by cooling waters, Dromai feels her pain turn to resolve. Lies can teach just as well as truth, even better. The spy master taught her to unravel the secrets of the arcane, to uncover and use the secrets of the court. He led her down the twisting way of the Drakai, and made her realize it is the only path worth traveling. Dromai lifts her feet from the water and stands on the lakeshore, taking in the cave's beauty, its crystals, its luscious flowers. She breathes deep of the steam and rich scents, committing them to memory. Her future is perilous. She may never come back here. She thinks as she walks. The movement of her feet helps her mind roam free. Only she and Fai survived the ambush. He can shoulder the blame for Zatari's death. It might even help him add a little fire to his reputation. Fai of the Forest of Flames, Slayer of Drakai. In turn, Zatari's demise will aid in hers. In the spy master's name, in the memory of his tragic passing, she will gain an audience with the Emperor. She rescued the Emperor's pet general and slew the rebellion's most notorious leader. The court will remember her name. Doors will open. She will offer favors. She will collect secrets. Step by step, the way of the Drakai will lead her to where she deserves to be. She will never belong to Ashvahan. Ashvahan will belong to her.